An information graphic or infographic is a visual representation of data or information. And you create an infographic because you want to present some complex data in a way that's simpler to understand and that clearly allows people to have access to the information. In our spreadsheet, we have 4 different sizes of K-Eco Energy solar panels, and I'd like to put together a graphic that will illustrate the sales of those solar panels so that we can have a conversation about this. Now, I've actually created the chart already. Here it is on the Charts tab, and it looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. It screams out green, which is great. That's part of our message. But let's turn this chart into an easier to understand and easier to remember imagining of solar panel sales. I'm going to start by selecting the chart series. I just click any column to make that happen. And then I'm going to right-click, and if I'm in 2013, which I am, I have fill right here. But if not, you can go to Format Data Series and get to the same place. So I'm going to just walk the longer way around here and choose Fill when the task pane opens. Right now we have a solid fill applied. I could choose a different color, and simply going to yellow would make this more memorable as solar. But I want to do more than that. I'm going to choose Picture or Texture Fill. And Excel doesn't know what picture I want, but it has access to a texture palette, so it's applying textures as quick as it can. This is one of them. There are a whole lot of other textures. You can check them out down here. But this is the first one, called Papyrus. Fossil fish. It's exciting, but there's nothing here that says solar to me. Water, yes. Marble, fine. I want to use a picture. So I'm going to insert a picture from the file, and out on the desktop, in my Exercise Files folder, I have some graphics. I actually want to use a particular icon, and I'd like a transparent icon so that any background around it won't be filled with the color, but will be filled with whatever comes through from my background. So that leads me to transparent. Let's choose a transparent 300 dpi sun. That's the one I want. And I'm going to insert this. Now, don't get freaked out right now, because this is what Excel does. It takes the image and it says, oh, I need to make it as big as the column is. And I want to say no. Stack them. So I'm choosing stack rather than stretch, and all of a sudden I get icons. So here, where it's sales of 15,000, I get 2.5. This is proportionally correct, but it's even cooler if I can say each of these represents something. So I'm going to stack and scale this with units. And so let's say we want to have 5,000 units to each picture. That's what that looks like. Or I could say I'd like to have 10,000. Pick a nice normal number. You know, if you say, well, got 3,500, that's hard to remember. Tens, fives, ones, hundreds, easy to remember numbers. 5,000 works. That's cool. So now, these are solar panel sales. I have a solar image. I have them stacked up. Another possibility would be I could take a picture, a stylized picture probably of a solar panel, and stack those up here as well. So I have different choices depending on what image I choose. You want to choose something that is easy. If you choose a photograph, it's normally quite hard to make it have enough distinction that you can tell when it goes from one symbol to the next to the next. Now I want to provide a little bit of a legend. So I'm going to make my chart a little bit larger. I'm going to select the plot area. I'm going to slide it up a bit. Not quite that much. And I'm going to go back and grab that same image again. There it is. Make it about the same size. Drop it in here. Let's add a text box. Insert a text box. Equals 5,000 panels sold. I could kick the size of that up a little bit so that it comes closer to the size that I'm using here on the axis. And then I'm going to take this whole text box and just slide it up a little bit so it's even. So we started with a chart that had 4 green columns in it. Again, nothing wrong with it, and many of us would just stop right there. When this chart sits on the screen, your users, the people whose minds you want to change about something, will look at this and they'll remember solar panels. They'll see the sun, they'll remember solar panels, and this will leave a striking impression as well as making it more accessible. It's so easy to see that there are about the same number of suns here, but a lot more suns in the larger columns. So, here's one way, just one of many, that we can use Excel to create infographics that tell a compelling story.